Welcome back to the Knowledge Catalog's Grade 9 Chemistry series. And yeah, it may be quite different because as you can see, meron na tayong ibang ibang logo na nandito. Okay, this is the logo for our Earth and Space Science series. And we are beginning, actually we'll be making some introduction in this series kasi grade 9 chemistry stops with this part. The first part, which is summative assessment, multiple choices, aiming at capping up the learning competency number 10, determine the percentage composition of a compound given its chemical formula, and vice versa. Ayan, so that's the last part of grade 9 chemistry. And then the second part, which is an overview on the volcanoes in the Philippines and the PVOLCs, as well as a pre-assessment on that module. It's put here already, okay, in this video lesson because it has to be one whole session. Okay. So yeah, this overview and pre-assessment are for the first learning competency for Unit 3, which is Earth and Space Science. So if you want to follow through with your learners module, you can open them in Unit 2, Module 4, pages 78 to 80, and Unit 3, Module 1, pages 1 to 5. Ayan, so let's proceed. So for the first part is a summative assessment. So I hope that you get or you have your science notebook near you, a pen, and also a clean sheet of paper in the absence of your science 9 notebook. Alright, once they're ready, let us take together the first item. Label anyway this part of the session as summative assessment multiple choices. Item number 1. The label of a dark chocolate bar indicates that its mass is 150 grams and it is 70% cacao. If you consume the whole chocolate bar, how much cacao did you eat? Okay, so A, 105 grams, B, 100 grams, C, 45 grams, and D, 50 grams. Question number 2. What is the representative particle of ionic compounds? A, atom, B, ion, C, molecule, D, formula unit. Number 3. How many particles are there in 1 mole of any kind of substance? A, 3.01 times 10 raised to the 23rd power. B, 3.01 times 10 raised to the 24th power. C, 6.02 times 10 raised to the 23rd power. Or D, 6.02 times 10 raised to the 24th power. Question number 4. Mothballs or para-dichlorobenzene, C6H4, Cl2, are used as cockroach repellent. It is often placed inside a cabinet. If one piece of mothball weighs 5 grams and say for instance, anyone in your household puts 3 pieces in your cabinet, how many molecules of para-dichlorobenzene, C6H4, Cl2, molar mass 147 grams per mole, will be circulating inside your cabinet, considering all the mothballs have sublimed? A, 6.02 times 10 raised to the 22nd power molecules of C6H4, Cl2. B, 6.02 times 10 raised to the 23rd power molecules of C6H4, Cl2. C, 6.14 times 10 raised to the 22nd power molecules of C6H4, Cl2. Or D, 6.14 times 10 raised to the 23rd power molecules of C6H4, Cl2. Question number 5. Who among the following students describes the result of the activity on counting by weighing correctly? A. For the first one, Anne, different sets of materials having the same mass have different number of pieces. Dan, different sets of materials have the same number of pieces and same mass. And then Tom, the same sets of materials have the same number of pieces but different masses. Is it A, Anne, B, Dan, C, Tom, or D, none of the above? Question number 6. The roots of a plant absorb nutrients from the soil. For farmers, it is important to strengthen the root system of their plants to ensure their growth. Potassium is a mineral responsible for a healthy root system. If you were a farmer, which of the following fertilizers are you going to use? A. K2SO4, B. KCl, C. K2O, or D. K2CO3. That's like potassium sulfate, potassium chloride, potassium oxide, or monoxide, or potassium carbonate. Question number 7. Methane, or CH4, with a molar mass of 16.04 grams per mole is one of the greenhouse gases. If 32.08 grams of CH4 is released in the atmosphere, how many molecules of CH4 are added in the atmosphere? A. 1.02 times 10 raised to the 24th power. B. 1.20 times 10 raised to the 24th power. B. 1.20 times 10 raised to the 23rd power. C. 6.02 times 10 raised to the 24th power. Or D. 6.02 times 10 raised to the 23rd power. Question number 8. The presence of SO2 SO2 in the atmosphere causes acid rain. How many percent of sulfur is present in SO2 with a molar mass of 64.07 grams per mole? A. 40%, B. 49.95%, C. 60%, or D. 50.05%. Question number 9. Arrange the following substances from the lightest to the heaviest: chlorine gas, methane, water, ammonia, and nitrogen gas. Is it letter A, B, C, or D? Question number 10. Why is the mole concept important? A. It is useful when converting between grams and atoms or molecules. B. It gives us a convenient way to express large numbers. C. It can be applied to any type of particle representative. And D. All of the above. Question number 11. Ammonium nitrate, or NH4NO3, with a molar mass of 80.06 grams per mole is a substance used to produce dinitrogen monoxide, or N2O, a dental anesthetic. Determine the mass percent of nitrogen in ammonium nitrate. Is it A. 35%, B. 40.65%, C. 39.50%, and D. 43.68%. Question number 12. People usually use hydrogen peroxide, a familiar example, H2O2, with a molar mass of 34.02 grams per mole to clean their wounds. If Cheska used 1 gram of hydrogen peroxide to clean her wound, how many moles of hydrogen peroxide did she use? Is it A. 0.035 thousandths mole? B. Is it 30,000 mole? C. 29,000 mole? Or D. 25,000 mole? I hope I read the decimals correctly. Alright, so if you have suggestions on how to do this better, reading of the decimals, you can just put your suggestion in the comment section. Next is question number 13. In cold areas, many fish and insects, including the common housefly, produce large amounts of glycerol, which is C3H8O3, with a molar mass of 92.11 grams per mole to lower the freezing point of their blood. How many percent of oxygen is present in glycerol? A, is it 52.11%? B, 50.11%? C, 51.11%? Or D, 53.11%? Number 14, ethyl butanoate or C3H7COOC2H5 is a substance responsible for the aroma of pineapple. What is the molar mass of ethyl butanoate? A, 118 grams per mole. B, 117.12 grams per mole. C, 120 and 12 grams per mole. Or D, 116 and 18 grams per mole. Okay, then last question, question number 15. Calcium carbonate or CaCO3 with a molar mass of 100.09 grams per mole is an antacid used to neutralize extra acid in the stomach. Lori is prescribed by the doctor to take 250 milligram tablets of calcium carbonate 3 times a day. How many moles of calcium carbonate will Lori consume for 3 days? A, is it 252 10,000 moles? Is that correct? Then B, is it 225,000 10,000 moles? C, is it 242 10,000 moles? Or D, is it 235 10,000 moles? Actually, it's just mole for all of them because it's not even, the value is not even 1. So, singular pa rin yan. Now, let's check your work. For the summative assessment, the following are the answers. Alright, so, for number 1, the answer is 105 grams. Number 2, the answer is B, iron. Number 3, the answer is 6.02 times 10 raised to the 24th power. Okay, let us, okay. Your reaction is understandable because the correct answer is supposed to be 6.02 times 10 raised to the 23rd power. Very good. That's letter C. Question number 4. The answer is 6.13 times 10 raised to the 22nd power molecules of C6H4Cl2. The answer to question number 5 is AN. Different sets of materials having the same mass but different number of pieces. Question number 6, it's potassium chloride. Question number 7, the answer is 1.20 times 10 raised to the 24th power. Question number 8, it's letter D, 50.05 times 10. 50.05%. Question number 9, the answer is letter B. Question number 10, the answer is all of the above. Question number 11, the answer is A, 35%. Question number 12, the answer is 0.029 mole. Question number 13, the answer is 52.11%. Question number 14, the answer is 116.18 grams per mole. Question number 15, the answer is B, 0.0225 mole. Okay, hope that you got a fair score. This is a summative assessment, so sana at least 10 points. Okay, so I'll be asking you to report your score on the upper right-hand corner of your paper, and do not forget to post it in our Edmodo small group. Let us now proceed with the next part of this session. It's a formal introduction for the third quarter's Earth and Space Science. Our first task is to just have an overview of the volcanoes in the Philippines and the FIVOLCs. So when we talk about the Philippines and its volcanoes, we have to start with the Pacific Ring of Fire, an international pattern of volcanoes and many earthquake epicenters. So it is along this region kung saan makikita ang Pilipinas and countries like Japan as well, na alam naman natin na marami ring mga naging volcanoes at madalas din ang kanilang mga earthquakes, mga volcanic earthquakes. And so we are along that Pacific Ring of Fire, and in grade 8 we already clarified why we are in there. Okay, one of the reasons, fault lines. Marami tayong mga fault lines in the country. Now, a famous volcano in the country is the Mayon volcano. It is located in Albay, and its most recent eruption was in 2018. So, the Mayon volcano is known for its perfect cone. Ayan, napakaganda ng kanyang pagiging cone. And this adds to the natural beauty of the place, Albay, and it has actually been one of our major tourist attractions in the country. Although ako, personally, hindi pa ako nakapunta dyan. Pero, kapag meron tayong pera pang travel, of course, it's going to be one of the places that I would love to visit. Okay, so that's the Mayon volcano. And another famous volcano in the country is the Mount Pinatubo. Pero if Mayon volcano is known for its beauty, Mount Pinatubo naman is known for for the destruction that it has caused in the country, and not just in the country, pero sa atmosphere and sa ibang mga karatig bansa din natin, na yung mga medyo malalapit na mga bansa. Okay, so the volcano Mount Pinatubo last erupted in June 15, 1991, and today, since this is February 20, 2021, recently we have recorded some major activities around the area. So the volcano is spanning Pampanga, Zambales, and Tarlac, which are also the most affected areas when it erupted. Yung lahat ng yung land mass na nasa taas nito dati, it's all gone now. It was distributed to the nearby areas in the form of pyroclastic materials and lahar. After the eruption, ganun yung naging itsura niya. Mayroon siyang malalawa na nasa gitna. It has been actually silent. Okay, prior to 1991, it has been silent for 600 years. Pero yung katahimikan naman niya, it was replaced by drastic lahar flows, which destroyed so many homes of not less than 100,000 people. A lot of people also died during those times, and napakakapal na naging ashfall na naglast ng napakaraming panahon din. So lahars covered 120,000 hectares with an average depth of at least 1 meter. Yung ibang mga areas na nagkaroon ng lahar flow, kasing tangkad ng mga kapilya, kasing tangkad ng mga matataas na buildings, or actually minsan mas matatangkad pa sa mga ibang mga houses yung naging depth ng lahar. And not just that, it was capable of altering the general condition, the general makeup, the general chemical composition of the atmosphere. It also was able to lower the temperature of the atmosphere near that area during those times. So that was how drastic its eruption was. And this volcano, along with other volcanoes in the country, are being tracked by the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, which is an institute under the management of the Department of Science and Technology in the country. Aside from volcanic activities, FIVOLCs is also monitoring seismic activities in the country. Ayan, so that is the overview, yung overview na kailangan lang nating makuha prior to, diving into Earth and space science, particularly with the topics, that we have, beginning with volcanoes. But before that, before we continue, let us have first the following pre-assessment. So, you will be needing that science notebook again, and then the clean sheet of paper, and then a pen, and you need to answer the following questions. Label this part as pre-assessment multiple choices. The first item is, which characteristic of magma mainly determines its explosiveness? A. Color. B. Amount. C. Temperature. D. Silica content. Question number 2. Which of the following characteristics of a volcano depends on its magma emission? A. Age. B. Size. C. Shape. D. Location. Question number 3. Which of the following factors associated with huge volcanic eruptions may cause the decrease in the Earth's average temperature in a few years? A. Heat. B. Light. C. Acid rain. Or D. Volcanic ash. Question number 4. A thick layer of volcanic ash can be heavy enough to collapse roofs of buildings because ash is A. is solid. B. Ash cannot be blown by winds. C. Ash becomes heavier as it cools. Or D. Ash consists of tiny fragments of rocks that becomes heavy as they pile up. The last item for this pre-assessment is the following question. Which of the following is an active volcano in the Philippines? A. Mount Apo in Davao. B. Bud Datu in Sulu. C. Isarog in Camarines Sur. Or D. Canlaon in Negros Oriental. Okay, let's check your work. The answer to question number 1 is D. Silica content. The answer to question number 2 is C. Shape. The answer to question number 3 is D. Volcanic ash. The answer to question number 4 is D. Consists of tiny fragments of rocks that becomes heavy as they pile up. The answer to question number 5 is B. Bud Datu in Sulu. Okay, so count the number of correct your correct answers. I hope that you got a fair score, although it's fine if you got, if you got none of these correctly, because again, this is just a diagnostic assessment. So, what we're just looking after is kung ano na ba yung mga alam natin so far. Okay, so, ayan. So, in this session, Chemistry 16, pero medyo ano na rin siya. It's Earth and Space Science 1 na rin siya. Okay, so in this session, we were able to finish the following parts. And we were able to finish as well Unit 2. Okay, natapos tayo sa Unit 2. So expect, and Module 4. So expect that I will be giving you na your next summative assessment, recorded summative assessment in chemistry. And that, you have to study now. You have to go to start with your personal reviews on when it comes to Earth and Space Science topics. This is Sir CJ, and I hope that I'll still see you around in the next session in this series. Have a good day.